Good morning, everyone. Happy
Good morning, sir.
Independence Day to each and every student who have joined for the class today. So, in the previous class, we started discussing about the planning, what is planning, and the nature of planning process. Also, we have discussed about the future
Thank you, sir.
planning, right? Like, are you people able to listen my voice? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, fine. In the previous class, we were discussing about this particular planning and nature of planning, all this particular process. So, planning, as I said you earlier in the previous class, planning is one of the primary asset of an organization. It is a major important asset of an organization. Why? Because without planning, we can't perform any sort of operations. Each and every industry, each and every organization, whether it is a public sector or private sector, whether it is a government organization or non-government organization, or whether it may be related to the cooperative societies or non-profit organizations, there are different types of organization which we can come across in terms of our society. So each and every organization needs this particular planning process. Why we need this particular planning process? Without planning, we can't set up the objectives. See, any organization that you take, each and every organization will be having their own objectives. How those particular objectives are designed? See, objectives of an organization is designed by taking the support of planning process. Without planning, we can't define the objectives. Without objectives, we can't define the process of work which has to be carried out. Without defining the process, we can't start work. Without planning, we won't be coming to know what is the process that we have to carry out. Without knowing the process, we can't start the work. So if I want to start the work in an organization, if I want to start my work in my organization, then I must have my own set of objective. That particular objective can be obtained or can be built by taking the support of this particular word which is called as planning. Planning looks very simple, but it is very dangerous. Planning looks very simple, but it is very dangerous. If the plan is good, and if based upon the plan, if the work goes on in a very good manner or a smooth manner, then everything will be fine. But if the planning fails, then the entire work in the organization fails. As soon as the entire work in the organization fails, then automatically the organization leads to degrade, as well as it will lead to a loss in terms of a loss of an organization. As soon as the loss comes into the picture in an organization, automatically today or tomorrow the organization may get shut down. So in order to avoid that particular shutdown process, planning is most essential thing which is required for the organization, and that particular planning must be done in a systematic manner. Okay, so based upon these particular points which I have spoken, we are going to deal today with an importance of planning. What actually this particular importance of planning? As I said you, importance of planning here. Planning is one of the great and more effective related work which has to be carried out, in each and every organizations. Any organization that you take, as I said you, whether it may be a public sector or private sector or small industry or big industry, or whether it may be an IT sector or non-IT sectors, any organization, irrespective of what type of work that we are going to carry out, each and every organization requires this particular planning process. Without planning, the organization cannot lead towards success. Without planning, the organization cannot lead towards success. Why? Because there won't be a set of objective which is required for the organization. Why? Because the planning is not done. If the planning is not done, there won't be any set of objectives. If there is no objectives, then there won't be any process. If there is no process, then there will be then it's very difficult for us to reach that target what we want to be set for in any organization that we are going to speak about. So based upon that, they have divided this particular importance of planning into 5 different regions. Where the first region here is primacy of planning. What is primacy here? What is the meaning of primacy? See, primacy is nothing but the another word of primacy is primary. What is primary? Have you came across with this particular word primary anywhere? Yes?
Basic.
Hello? Please speak, be louder.
Basic.
Huh?
Basic, sir.
It is a basic thing. It is a basic thing which is required for us. Right? So here, it is but in terms of our school also, we start from primary school to secondary school to college to degree college and so on, right? So what this particular what we are going to learn in primary here? As a student, what we are going to learn in primary? Yes? What you have learnt in your primary school?
All the basics, sir.
All the basics, like we have learnt alphabets, and then the teachers made us to combine the alphabets in order to form the words. Then they helped us to know the meaning of each and every word, isn't it? If without knowing that, is it possible for us to move further for secondary education as well as to higher educations? Without
No, sir.
the basics, without learning the basics, can we move further?
No, sir.
Can a small baby who wants to join for primary school, if I make him to join for secondary school directly,
No, sir.
then what is going to happen? If I make him to join for the secondary school directly by skipping the primary school, what is going to happen? Yes?
Becomes difficult to learn, sir.
It's very difficult to learn, and it's very difficult to succeed, and we can't achieve, the student cannot achieve the goal, that particular baby cannot achieve the goal. Why? Because it doesn't know the basics at all. Without knowing the basics, we can't move further. So the basic is the major important foundation of any work. Without basic foundation, it's very difficult for us to move further in terms of any work that we are going to carry out in any organization. So here he says that the planning is a one which is most important and effective requirement for any organization before performing any work. Before performing any work in management, we require this particular planning process, and this particular planning process is carried out daily, on the daily basis, as well as hour basis, as well as minutes basis, depending upon the requirement of the organization. The planning will work parallelly with all other works which is required for us, which we will be carrying out in the organization. So planning, as I said to you in the previous classes also, when I started the class of management, the first and foremost function which has been represented by George was also planning, organizing, actuating and controlling, isn't it? These three, organizing, actuating and controlling, are totally dependent on planning. If there is a plan, then we can perform organizing operation. If there is an organizing operation, then we can perform the actuation process, which is nothing but performing the action. Then along with that, we will be controlling the employees. These three important criteria, the second one, third one and fourth one, are majorly dependent on the first one, where the first one is a planning. This planning is must and should for setting up an objectives in the organization. Without a plan, we can't be a successful person. Without a perfect plan, we can't be a successful person in any work that we are going to carry out. So planning is one of the primary asset of an organization in order to carry out the process of management in different aspects in different fields. And this particular planning is a one which helps us to establish the objectives of the organization. Once you establish the objectives of the organization by taking the support of planning, then only organizing comes into the picture. Then second one is after organizing, what comes next? Actuating. Actuating is nothing but performing the action comes into the picture. Then the fourth one is controlling. If these three, if I want all these three must be active, then the planning must be active first. First the planning must be there. Then later comes with these three. So we call it as a primacy of planning. Primacy of planning is nothing but primary asset of an organization. The first and foremost primary asset of an organization is planning. Planning helps us to achieve the success easily. And this particular systematic planning process of any work will lead to achieve a great results in any organization, whether it may be in any organization or whether it may be in terms of a student point of view. If you are focused and if you are set up your objective that this semester I want to, my target is to reach 80% of my result. So accordingly you will plan. Accordingly you have to plan. Once you plan, you have to execute that particular plan based by taking the support of all the resources which are required for me. Resources are arranged by taking the support of second step, that is organizing. Organizing is the one which helps you to arrange the resources based upon the requirement of the plans. Once you arrange the resources, by taking the support of those resources, utilizing those resources properly, you will start studying. Once you start studying, along with that studies, you have to control yourself by diverting your mind towards other things which is more interesting for you than studies. You have to control your mind that I must not move towards my mobile or I must not chat with my mobile during this particular time. I have to complete this particular work. So this particular focus based upon the plan leads to a success of a student. Without diverting your mind, if we study for 1 hour, that is more than enough every day. Without diverting our mind. And planning must be in such a way that it must cover all the things. It must cover all the subjects which is related to you, to your semester. So this is what the primacy of planning speaks about. In a simple manner, it is a primary asset of an organization which helps you to set up the goal. Once you set up the goal, then only it's possible for us to move further with organizing, actuating and controlling. Without setting up a goal, it's not possible for us to move further. That is what primacy of planning speaks about. Whereas the second point is to minimize the risk and uncertainty. You know, right? Business. When it comes to the business point of view, risk will be there. Everywhere we will be having a risk as well as we will be having uncertainty. Uncertainty in the sense fluctuation in terms of loss and profits. We can't predict that today I will earn 100 rupees, tomorrow also I will earn 100 rupees, day after tomorrow also I will earn 100 rupees. Can you give an assurance that I can earn so and so amount every day, fixed amount every day? In terms of,
No, sir.
is it possible?
No, sir.
No, right? So in order to minimize this particular fluctuations of profit and loss, the manager of an organization must be in contact with the dynamic environment. What this dynamic environment speaks about? Changes in the world. Changes in the world. As soon as the world changes, earlier we used to design and develop the product using C language. Then later C++ came into existence. Then later .NET came into existence. Then later C# came into existence. Java, J2EE. Now we are running with Python and data science. Isn't it? The technology is changing drastically every day. As soon as the technology changes, it indicates that there is a change in the environment. change in the IT sector, change in the environment of IT sector. As soon as there is a change in the environment of IT sector, the organization must also change. Isn't it? If, for example, if the world is moving faster towards the technology, and if my company is working, even today, if it is working on the old technology, whether the products which I am developing in my organization with the old technology will provide me the profit? Will it provide me the profit? Yes or no? Whether it will provide me the profit or no?
Yes, sir.
It will provide me the profit.
Yes, sir.
If I don't design the Android mobile, instead if I design the mobile, black and white mobile, which was existing 10 years back, today also, will you buy that particular product?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
Why? Why you are not going to buy the black and white mobile, and why you are very much interested towards Android mobile?
Because technology is improved, sir.
Technology is improved and the interest of a particular person is also changed. They are not interested to keep small mobiles which gives us to, which permits us to have only a call or message. We need some more entertainments, isn't it? Everything
Yes.
nowadays, everything is dependent on this particular mobile. Without mobile, we can't survive at all. That is what the status of our world. So mobile is one of the important asset of each and every human being, and that particular mobile must be designed in such a way that it must be designed and developed based upon the requirement of the customers. Customers today, earlier they were interested in normal camera. Then later they came across with 3 megapixel of camera, then 6 megapixel of camera. Now, if I show the mobile to my friend saying that this is the mobile which contains 6 megapixel of camera, he will laugh, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because nowadays the mobiles are embedded with huge technology with 2 to 3 cameras together with 48 megapixel of camera. Even in this generation you are using 6 megapixel of camera. So technology, the dynamic change in the environment leads us also to change. Leads us also to change. So that particular the organization must take care of it. Must take care of the changing environment, and based upon the changing environment, they have to change their objectives and technologies also. And this particular, if they carry out this particular process, as soon as the environment changes, the setup of the organization must also change. They have to adopt towards the new technology which is coming into the market, and then they have to develop the product based upon the new technology. Then only they can survive in the they can survive in the society. If it is not possible, then the organization will not survive and it will lead to a loss. So this risk and uncertainty speaks about the same. In order to minimize the risk and uncertainty, the manager must interact with the dynamic environment. As soon as the change in the environment comes into the picture, they have to adopt that particular change in the organization. Then only they can minimize this particular risk and uncertainty. If they don't change, and if they lead towards the same technology which has been adopted by them last few years back, then that particular organization may face a risk and uncertainty. There will be maximum number of loss and minimum number of profit, and the risk will be more, and the employees may lose the job because of loss of the organization. That is what a risk speaks about. If we minimize the risk and uncertainty in the organization, then the organization leads towards the profit, and it will be more successful, and it may help the employees of the organization in different manners, and lot of things comes into the picture. if we minimize risk and uncertainty. In order to minimize this risk and uncertainty, what the manager has to do, he has to adopt towards the changing environment. He has to change the technology as soon as the technology in the environment changes. He has to adopt a new technology in order to develop a new products and send it into the market. That is that is how we can minimize the risk and uncertainties. Whereas the third point here is to focus attention on goal. Planning, once you plan, sir, today I want to complete this particular concept. These concepts I have to study and I have to be perfect with this particular concept. This is your plan. So once you plan and once you fix up your mind that I have to complete this particular work today, then you will complete that particular work only if you focus on that particular work. Focusing on the things without getting diverted to some other things is nothing but focusing on objectives, is nothing but focusing on the objective of today's work. Objective of today's work. What is the work that I have to carry out today? Today I have to take up the class from 10 to 11. That is first objective. Second objective, 11 to 11:15 I will be taking some sort of rest. Then 11:15 to 11:30 I have to work on something. Then 11:30 I have to attend a meeting. Up to 1 o'clock there will be a meeting. Once the meeting gets completed, after lunch, next I have to start working on some research works. Then later up to 5 o'clock, whatever the work that I have set up, that particular work must be completed. Even if the work, even if 5 o'clock gets over, if I want to complete that particular work, then I have to complete that work by sitting into the college at least for another 1 hour. Time complexity, maintaining the time complexity and focusing on your work is one of the important things that we have to learn. Each and everyone has to learn. Maintaining the time complexity on the work which has been assigned to you or on the work which you are carrying out needs a focus, and that particular focus can be carried out by the perfect planning. I will plan perfectly, but if I don't focus, also it will fail, because planning is perfect but work is not effective. If the planning is perfect and work is not effective, then it may lead to a problem. It may lead to a problem. So this particular third point, to focus attention on objectives, says that it focuses on organization goal, objectives and direction of action. What type of action that you have to take in order to complete that particular objective successfully. In order to achieve any objective, focusing is one of the very important asset. Focusing in the sense, it doesn't mean that by sitting in front of the book and seeing that particular book regularly, but just by sitting idle and seeing the book doesn't help you to complete the task, right? Your mind must also work and you must try to understand what actually this particular concept is and how it is how this particular concept is going to work in my technology, in my future. And you have to digest yourself on the concept which you are reading. If you want to digest yourself on the concept which you are reading, then you need a perfect focus or attention towards that particular studies what you are studying for. So that is what this focus on objective speaks about. Along with planning, focusing on the work will lead to a successful achievement of objective which has been set by the organization. That is what the third point speaks about. Whereas the fourth point here is to facilitate control. What this control speaks about? What this control speaks about? Whether the students require control, whether the teacher needs to control the students.
Yes, sir.
Why? If a teacher doesn't control a student, what is going to happen? If the teacher controls the student, what is going to happen? Yes? Please come out, please speak out. Amruta. Amruta, Chandana, Janvi, Tejaswini, Dodman, Spurti. Please answer to my question. My question to you is, if the teacher doesn't control the student in the class, doesn't have control towards the student in the class, what is going to happen?
The student may reach the goal or achieve the plans, sir.
Pardon? If the student doesn't have if the teacher doesn't have a control, what is going to happen?
They'll start misbehaving in the class.
Once they start misbehaving in the class, what is going to happen next?
They are going to create a mess, sir.
They are going to create a mess. If they once this type of environment gets created in the classroom, can the teacher achieve the objective of his work in that particular class?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, right? So, if the teacher is having a control towards the student, what is going to happen? Vice versa, right? If the student doesn't have a control, then there will be some mess up in the class and the teacher may not concentrate on the class. Instead, they start speaking something wrong to you rather than concentrating on the class. Why? Because the class got disturbed. If the teacher is having a control towards the student, then the teacher can achieve the objective by making you to listen properly and make you to understand the concept properly, and he will achieve the goal directly, and indirectly the students also achieve the goal of that particular concept. That is what the difference between control and uncontrolled. If the student is controlled, is under well controlled, then they will learn something. At the same time, the teacher can also deliver the concept in an easy manner by giving some sort of real-time examples to them. The teacher can also show the interest towards the students, saying that students are active and they are trying to listen something and they are trying to understand the concept. Then automatically the teacher will get something in his mind that I have to speak something more rather than what is present in the book in order to make the student to understand. That particular control will help you to learn more, at the same time achieve the goal successfully. That is what this facilitate control speaks about. If the organization, based upon the plan, if the workers who are working in that particular plan, if they work properly, and in order to make them to work properly, we must have some sort of control towards them. If we don't have control towards them, instead, if we think that everyone will work 100% and provide us the 100% result to us, then it's nothing but bullshit thing which we are going to think about. Each and every employee will be having different types of minds. Some will be hard workers, some will be medium workers, some will be just coming for time pass. So we have to think about those time pass people, and we have to make them to work at any cost of time. So that particular when this type of people comes into the picture, this control comes into the picture, and this control leads to achieve the objective of our organization successfully. The best example what I gave you is like the difference between control of teacher is having a control on a student, teacher is not having a control on the student. If the teacher is not having a control on the student in the class, then automatically there will be some mess up and the teacher will not achieve the objective. Indirectly, student will also not achieve the objectives, isn't it? So control helps us to achieve them easily. And the last one is to increase organization effectiveness. What this effectiveness speaks about? What is effectiveness? What is the meaning of effectiveness? What is the meaning of effectiveness?
Having more impact on the things, sir.
More impact on the things. Like, can you give one example for this if you have any idea on this? Like any simple example, whether it may be related to your real life or whether it may be related to the organization. Can I get any example of effectiveness? I will give you one particular clue. Here, resources of the organization plays a very important role. Effectiveness of the organization can be increased only if we have a proper resource. If there is like planning is correct, everyone is fine, everyone are very good workers, but if there is no resources, effectiveness can be increased. Can we increase the effectiveness? Yes? If the yes, can we? Hello? Can we increase the effectiveness of the organization without resources?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why? Why? Why can't we improve the effectiveness of the organization without resources?
Without any resources, we can't work on it, sir. And effectiveness also we can't.
If we have resources, then we can utilize those particular resources in a proper manner and effective manner, then we can achieve the goal. Once you achieve the goal, automatically the effectiveness of the organization increases. Effectiveness of the organization is majorly dependent on the resources which are available in the organization as well as utilizing the resources by the employees of the organization. If we have resources in the organization, by proper utilization of resources by the employees of that particular organization, in order to achieve the goal, will lead to a success. Once the organization leads towards the success then automatically the effectiveness and efficiency of the organization increases. If I want effectiveness and efficiency of the organization and consistency of the organization to be in a good manner, then proper utilization of the resources which are available in the organization by the employees is one of the major important criteria comes under organization. You have to utilize the resources in a proper manner, and you have to work on the work which has been assigned to you. Then only you can lead towards success individually. At the same time, you can lead your organization towards success. That is what the fifth point speaks about. Increase organizational effectiveness. Effectiveness implies that organization is able to achieve its objective within the given resources, and these particular resources must be utilized in a proper manner by the employees of the organization. That is what the fifth point speaks about. And here the first point here is primacy of planning. Primacy of planning is nothing but primary it is a primary objective of an organization in order to perform any activities of management. Whereas in order to minimize the risk, the manager must be interacting with the environment as the environment changes every day, every time. Depending upon the changing needs of the customers, that we have to adopt our technologies and we have to work faster. And planning helps us to focus on the objectives. At the same time, if we have control towards the employees, then it is very easy for us to achieve the objectives. Similarly, the last point is the effectiveness of the organization is dependent on the resource utilizations. The utilization of the resource must be in an effective manner and proper manner. Then we can achieve the objectives of the organization. This is what about the importance of planning speaks about. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the next concept here is types of plans. Here, in terms of types of plans, there are two types. One is single-use plan and the other one is standing plan. See, single-use plans are those plans which acts, which is non-repetitive. Non-repetitive active. Like once you plan this particular work, that particular plan will be in an active state, until you complete that particular work. Once you complete that particular work, that particular plan will come under inactive state. Non-repetitive activities. What is the difference between non-repetitive and repetitive activities? Non-repetitive activities are those which which is nothing but, we can say it as, one best example that I can tell you is normal pen and use and throw pen. What is the difference between a normal pen and use and throw pen?
Use and throw pen, once you use and it will throw, sir.
Once we use,
And throw.
once the ink gets completed,
We'll throw away.
We can't refill, sir.
we can't reuse it. We can't reuse it, right? We have to throw it. The other normal pens,
We can change refill, sir. When it's
we can
completed.
change our refill and we can reuse that particular body of that particular pen
pen.
most of the times. That is nothing but a repetitive activity. Repetitive activity on a single product or on a single pen. Repetitive activity on a single pen, which is not use and throw. Which is not use and throw pen. The pen which is use and throw, then that particular pen is useful only for a specific time period. It will be existing until the ink of that particular pen gets over. Once the ink of that particular pen gets over, then it is useless. That is what a single plan speaks about. Single use plans says that we are, like here, we are performing the operation of planning and working only for one time. Once the work of that particular plan gets completed, then we are not going to repeat the same again. Example, your lab programs. Your lab programs, the projects which is already designed and developed, as well as the budget which was developed earlier. The budgets which was developed earlier, those particular budgets cannot be, the same budget cannot be repeated for the next year. The budget also changes, right? Based upon the situation of the country, based upon the situation of the states, the budget also changes. The budget will not be same for n number of years. It will change drastically for year by year or 6 months once, depending upon the requirement of the society and depending upon the environment of the society. So those are called as single use plans. Whereas the second one is standing plan. Standing plans are nothing but repetitive plans. The same plan will exist for n number of years. Best example is your pension plans, policies, procedures, and vision and mission of an organization will not get changed year by year. Every year the objectives of the organization will not change. Instead, the plans of the organization may change. The plans of the organization may change, but the objective of the organization will not change at all for n number of years. This particular type of plans will be existing for something around 5 to 10 years or 20 years, depending upon the requirement of the organization. These are nothing but the standing plans. Standing plans are those, the same objective, the same plan will be repeated for n number of years, and this particular plan will be carried out for more duration time, whereas single use plan is used for minimum duration of time. So this is what the difference between a single use plan and standing plan. Single use plan, keep in mind in general if I speak, it is nothing but use and throw pen, whereas like standing plan is nothing but the pen, the regular pen which we use. Like we can change change the refill and we can reuse the body of that particular pen again and again. That is nothing but standing plans. The best example of standing plans is nothing but vision and mission of an organization will not change every time. It will be existing for a longer period of time. Similarly, like the various policies that you take, whether it may be related to mutual funds or whether it may be related to the policies of the organizations, policies or rules and regulations of the organization, the procedure which we carry out in order to recruit the employee, in order to dismiss the employee, or in order to promote the employee, that particular procedures will be existing for a longer period of time. That particular plans will be existing for a longer period. Whereas the projects and budgets, the plan will exist until that particular project work gets completed. Once that particular project work gets completed, then that same plan cannot be reused in future. Why? Because the plan is based upon a specific project. Once the specific project gets completed, that particular plan cannot be reused. That is nothing but single use plan. If we use the same plan for n number of operations, n number of times for the same type of operations, then it is called as standing plans. And this is what about the types of plans. There are one is single use and the other one is standing plan. Understood the concept here? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So in the next class, like this is what about the types of plans, and this is what about the planning chapter. In this particular chapter, we have discussed about meaning of planning, right? Features of planning, which is nothing but advantages of planning, nature of planning, importance of planning, and types of planning. There is two types. One is single use plan and another one is standing plan. Out of this, importance of planning and types of planning is one of the very important concept for your main examination. Understood everyone? Any doubts in this particular chapter? Yes?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, fine. So shall we move further with the organization chapter?
Yes, sir.
Shall we move or shall we wind up the class for today and shall we go ahead with organization? In the next upcoming classes, we will be discussing about the organization and types, like what is meaning of organizing, features of organizing, nature of organizing, purpose of organizing, types, and major importantly, what is staffing process, how to recruit the employees in the organization, and what are the various methods that we have in terms of recruiting the employees in an organization. This is one of the very important concept which is most essentially needed for everyone. Okay, so today I will be winding up the class today. In the next upcoming classes, we will be discussing about this organizing chapter, and once we complete with this organizing chapter, we will be completing with your first module of management and entrepreneurship. Okay, so any doubts you have on the concepts which I have taught you till today, you can feel free and you can come in touch with me and you can ask for any doubts. I will try to clarify your doubts, but don't sit idle. Okay, I need a very good interaction from your end. Till today the interaction was good, but I need some more effective interaction from your end so that we can learn something more. We can learn something more together. Okay, so